Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. From this lecture onwards, we are going to start polar plot. So in this lecture number 1 of polar plot, we are going to study introduction part of the polar plot. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. So first we will see what is polar plot. Polar plot of a function of complex variable s is a plot of magnitude against phase angle on polar coordinates as angular frequency omega is varied from 0 to infinity. So whenever we talk about the open loop transfer function of the system, it is given by j of s into h of s, and when we find out the open loop transfer function of unity feedback control system, then this feedback part transfer function h of s will be equal to 1. Therefore, for unity feedback control system, the open loop transfer function will be equal to g of s only. So from both these equations, we can see that this g of s into h of s and this g of s both are the function of complex variable s. So for drawing the polar plot, we have to find out the magnitude and phase angle for various values of angular frequency omega, which is varied from 0 to infinity. And when we plot those magnitude and phase angle values on the S plane by varying the values of omega from 0 to infinity, then that particular plot is called as polar plot. How to draw the polar plot we will study in the next lecture. Next is types of polar plot. We have two types of polar plot. First one is direct polar plot. So whenever we draw the polar plot of g of j omega into h of j omega, or only for g of j omega in case of the unity feedback control system, then that particular plot is direct polar plot. And second one is inverse polar plot. So whenever we draw the polar plot of 1 upon gj omega into h of j omega or 1 upon g of j omega, then that particular plot is called as inverse polar plot. In these lectures of polar plot, we are only going to study the direct polar plot. Now let us see some important points related to polar plots which are very useful while drawing the polar plot. We have to remember that in polar plot, the angular frequency omega is always varied from 0 to infinity, and sometimes this polar plot is also called as Nyquist plot. But in Nyquist plot, the angular frequency omega is varied from minus infinity to plus infinity. When we talk about angles in polar plot, then positive phase angles are taken in anti-clockwise direction. That means whenever we take any phase angles in anti-clockwise direction or counter-clockwise direction, they are positive phase angles, and negative phase angles are taken in clockwise direction. So whenever we take any angle in clockwise direction, that means those phase angles are negative phase angles. So here we can represent this as 0 degree. So when we go in the anti-clockwise direction, so this will be plus 90 degree, this will be plus 180 degree, this will be plus 270 degree. So when we move in the clockwise direction, this will be our clockwise direction. So in the clockwise direction, this will be minus 90 degree, this will be minus 180 degree, this will be minus 270 degree. So when we move in the clockwise direction, all the angles will be negative, and when we move in the anti-clockwise direction, all the angles will be positive. And one very important point in the polar plot is that in polar plot, it is not necessary to convert the magnitude in decibel value or to find out the log of frequencies. That means we don't have to represent the magnitude in decibels and represent the frequency in their logarithmic values while drawing the polar plot as we do in the Bode plots. Now let us see the simple definition of polar plot. Polar plot is a frequency response sketch in which magnitude of g of j omega into h of j omega is plotted against the phase angle of g of j omega into h of j omega for various values of omega from 0 to infinity. That means polar plot is a frequency response plot in which the magnitude and phase angle of g of j omega and h of j omega are plotted on the S-plane for various values of omega from 0 to infinity. So, to draw the polar plot, we can make one table like this. Here in the first column, we will take the omega value from 0 to infinity, and based on this omega values, we will find out the magnitude and phase angles. So, the magnitude of g of j omega into h of j omega is represented by capital M, and angle of g of j omega into h of j omega is represented by phi. So we have to remember that while drawing the polar plot, we have to always vary the omega value from 0 to infinity. That means starting frequency of the plot will be omega is equal to 0 and ending frequency of the plot will be omega is equal to infinity. When we keep omega is equal to 0, then corresponding value of magnitude m will be equal to m0 and corresponding value of phase phi will be phi 0. And when we put omega is equal to omega 1, then corresponding value of magnitude m will be m1 and corresponding value of phase angle phi will be phi 1. Similarly, when we put omega is equal to infinity, then corresponding value of magnitude m will be m infinity and corresponding value of phase angle phi will be phi infinity. Now we have to represent all these values of magnitude and phase on the S-plane. So in the S-plane we will take sigma on the real axis and j omega on the imaginary axis. This is j omega axis and this is sigma axis. So what we have to do? First we have to take the angle corresponding to the omega is equal to 0, which is equal to phi 0. So we will measure this angle phi 0, and on this angle line we have to represent this magnitude m0, which is corresponding to this omega is equal to 0. So we will represent this point as P0. Now we have to measure the angle phi 1, which is corresponding to the omega is equal to omega 1. Now on this angle line of phi 1, we have to measure the value of magnitude m1, and this point will be P1. Similarly, we will measure this angle phi 2, which corresponds to the omega is equal to omega 2, and on this angle line of phi 2 we will measure the magnitude m2. After measuring this value of magnitude m2, we will represent this point P2. Okay. Similarly, we have to measure the angle phi infinity, which corresponds to omega is equal to infinity, and on this angle line of phi infinity we have to measure the magnitude m infinity, and here we have to represent the point P infinity, and we have to remember that always measure the phase angles from the positive real axis. So after marking all the points P0, P1, P2 up to P infinity, we will join all the points to draw the final polar plot. So we can say that polar plot is a locus of tips of phasors of various magnitudes plotted at the corresponding phase angles for different values of frequencies from 0 to infinity. Next we will see the advantages of polar plot. First advantage is polar plot depicts the frequency response characteristics over entire range of frequencies in single plot. That means in single polar plot only we can represent the magnitude as well as phase for different values of frequencies from 0 to infinity. Second advantage is that polar plots can be used for stability analysis by drawing a rough sketch. That means by drawing just a rough sketch of this polar plot, we can comment on the stability of the system. Third one is an approximate polar plot can be drawn quickly. That means whenever we draw a rough sketch of polar plot or approximate polar plot on the paper, it can be drawn very quickly as it takes only two values, that is the magnitude and phase values corresponding to omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity only. Next is limitations of polar polar plot. First is the addition of poles or zeros to existing system requires the recalculation of the frequency response. That means whenever we add poles or zeros to the existing system, then we have to recalculate all the values of magnitude and phase angles and redraw the polar plot each time. So this is the limitation of polar plot. Second one is frequency response calculation is very tedious and does not indicate the effect of individual poles or zeros of the transfer function. That means the calculations of polar plot is very complicated, and also the plot does not indicate the effect of individual poles or zeros of the transfer function. So that's all for now. In the next class, we are going to study procedure for drawing the polar plot. Hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.